healthcare is changing in the United States, and the majority of nursing students are not receiving specific education on primary care competencies. My name is Robin Brown, and I'm the project manager for the Impact RNs grant, which is short for Impacting Models of Practice and Clinical Training for Registered Nurses and Students. The overall purpose of the grant is to educate undergraduate nursing students and registered nurses to practice to the full scope of the nursing license in community-based primary care settings and to provide education on addressing the opioid epidemic. One component of the Impact RNs grant provides the opportunity for a select number of undergraduate nursing students to participate in a clinical experience that will occur over 2 semesters.
It's called adoption.
Selected students will attend clinical in a rural, community-based primary care setting and work one-on-one with a qualified registered nurse preceptor. Over the course of Semester 4 and Semester 5, the student will complete a minimum of 150 hours in this setting, gaining exposure to the registered nurse practicing in a variety of roles and functioning to the full scope of his or her license within the interprofessional primary care team. Students will also spend 20 hours with a registered nurse health coach to experience the enhanced role of the RN who is serving in this capacity. Nursing students who are interested in participating in this clinical experience will have the option of selecting their top 3 choices for placement in one of 13 community-based primary care settings located in rural and underserved areas across South Dakota and Minnesota. In addition to the exposure that students will gain through participating in this clinical experience, there are other financial benefits available.
The most impactful part of my rural clinical experience was being part of the generalist role. In a rural setting, you get to have more opportunities, I feel like, compared to an urban setting. If I wouldn't have chose to do my clinical experience in a rural facility, I don't think I would have chosen to become a rural nurse. The variability that you get to do in a rural facility and the relationship you form with your community members gives you opportunities within the hospital. So one of my favorite parts about rural nursing, working in a rural facility, is getting to be on a first name basis with everyone. You know the respiratory department, you know the administration, you know the housekeeping, and you know almost everyone, the doctors. I like the community aspect of rural nursing, getting to really see your patient from beginning to end and seeing them out in the community. Seeing the difference you made in their lives has a really big impact on me as a nurse.
The value of the rural clinic program is imperative. Students that have that strong base in rural healthcare have just such a bigger advantage over, a traditional student who spends most of their time in a larger facility. Probably the most impactful thing was just seeing people come in that you knew or that you were familiar with. The rural clinic experience really impacted me and my future career as an RN, simply because in a rural facility you have to know a little about a lot. So having that generalist perspective right out of my preceptorship experience going into my first job was imperative. Working in the rural healthcare setting, it was really awesome because not only did you get to interact with the nurses, but because there are so few people in the rural facility, you also got to experience a lot of interdisciplinary type of roles.
More long-term patients swings in. I think a rural nursing experience or rural clinical experience just helps broaden that aspect of nursing, to see patients at different acuity levels and in different care settings. I think in the future we're going to see more RNs in the primary care setting. There's a lot of push on a national level, and as that's trickling down to treat population health. We treat patients one at a time, but we're also looking at keeping communities healthy and being measured on quality measures, and the complexity of patients is really driving that need to have more professional nurses in the primary care setting. We're seeing a lot more care coordination. We're seeing a lot more needs beyond just those office visits to take care of these patients. I think the recruitment may be initially a little bit different because there has been so much focus on the needs for RNs in acute settings, in more higher acuity places. Overall, I just see that as healthcare transforms, and as it's transformed in the past, it will continue into the future, And I really see RNs being able to benefit as we see more team-based care, working not just one physician and the patient. We're seeing physicians, nurse practitioners, physician's assistants, medical assistants, all working together. Anybody considering working in a rural setting, it's a great opportunity. It gives you a chance to grow. It's challenging, so if you're up for a challenge, because typically you're going to wear more than one hat. You're going to probably be asked to work in a couple different settings, and if you really like the variety and want to take care of patients and see where you can grow, I think it's a great opportunity.
My name is Heidi Menega, and I am the Project Director for the Impact RNs Grant. I would like to personally invite you to consider taking part in this unique clinical experience. This opportunity will allow you to experience firsthand the essential role that registered nurses can fill in the primary care setting. If you are interested in applying for placement in this clinical experience, or if you would like to know more information, please feel free to contact your site leader or me directly. I look forward to seeing your application and hearing about your experiences.